My name is Masayomi Hirota. I work at a major company called Rookie Enterprises, and I'm a salaryman in my late 20s. When I was in college, I studied abroad in Spain, and I got my master's degree in England. I am trilingual, and using the knowledge I already learned in school on marketing, business, and economics, I have already been given all kinds of responsibilities in the company. My relationship with my girlfriend and colleague Rudy is also steady, and my private life is just as fulfilling.
What's up, Hirota? Great job on that television meeting with the international company.
Thank you, Mr. Akimaru.
But you had some difficulty answering some of those questions, didn't you?
What?
I was also participating and you seemed flustered, and I thought it was pathetic.
No, that wasn't the case at all.
Oh, come on, no need to act tough. Just because you studied abroad doesn't mean you can speak at a native level, alright?
Mr. Akimaru, what are you trying to say?
Huh?
It may be true that compared to a native speaker, I may not be perfect.
You see?
However, all you did was complain to the translator. What is that guy saying? He keeps rolling his tongue and I can't understand him? Isn't that right?
What?
There's quite a time difference from there to Japan, so it's really difficult to set a meeting. All you do is attend the meetings and you leave the rest to everyone else.
What did you say? Are you trying to make fun of me?
That's not what I mean.
You just because you can speak English and Spanish, you better not think that you have the upper hand.
I have never once bragged ever since I joined this company. I was just told by the CEO that he wants me to use my skills the best way I can.
That's exactly what I'm talking about.
In that case, please stop dumping your work onto everyone around you, especially the new hires. They're only getting more exhausted.
Shut up! A boss's work is his team's work, you know that, right?
This is my direct manager, Akimaru. Based on the conversation, I'm sure that there are people who would have guessed this, but he is a handful and a super bully. Because Rookie Enterprises is a global company, there were a lot of employees who could speak another language to some degree. And within the company, there were regular language classes as well. However, I'm brilliant without even having to speak any other language, he boasts, and yet he can't even greet our business partners in meetings. And when I think about how I have to watch Akimaru wag his tongue in Japanese every time, honestly, it's hard. The company is providing foreign language classes, and at the very least, a conversational level might be good.
That's not necessary for me, because my subordinate, that's you, is already at a business level anyway.
Please stop dumping the responsibility onto me.
There's nothing to worry about. You translated to Japanese, and I summarized that. See, we have the responsibility split up perfectly.
You're just speaking nonsense and trying to run away from responsibility, dude. Isn't there something I can do about this?
Anyway, until I press the stamp on that paperwork, it doesn't get approved. Make sure you don't have any mistakes, alright, Mr. Masayomi Hirota?
Damn it.
While I was outside, I can't believe that happened.
Yeah, the tyranny of Mr. Akimaru hasn't changed.
Masaomi, you're doing a great job. No matter how much an old man like that bothers you, you still complete your work perfectly.
Can't he hurry up and fly off somewhere with the next company restructure? Oh, but he just came to this department 6 months ago, huh? Darn it.
Most of my work is mainly in sales, so I don't have that much opportunity to talk to Mr. Akimaru, but...
You should be careful too, Rudy. If you get involved, it's game over.
You're right. Well then, let's toast to us.
Thanks, Rudy. As usual, I left work on time and I met with Rudy at the restaurant. This was a tapas bar owned by a Spanish chef. In the morning, it was a cafe, a great spot for lunch in the afternoon. And at night, a bar where you could drink alcohol. We had a toast with a special lime liquor that the chef especially imports from the Canary Islands. And while enjoying some delicious food, we continued our conversation.
I often hear that Mr. Akimaru is really persistent with the female employees.
What?
Inviting them out for drinks or asking them to hang out one-on-one on the weekends.
Are you serious?
Half a year ago, one of the girls that was working in my department was also a victim.
You mean that girl who was transferred to the accounting department?
Yeah, apparently he said he would give her money to come to the hotel.
What is that? That's so gross.
Apparently all of the girls did their best to brush him off, but it's hard to take it to court on just hearsay.
He's the worst. I'm sure Akimaru will probably repeat the same thing again.
I'm also planning on doing whatever I can.
Yeah, let's work together and expose Akimaru's wrongdoings. 1 month later, in that time, there wasn't any particular incidents that occurred. It turns out that Akimaru was skilled at putting on a good face. Whenever the CEO, managing director, or executive director would come to our department, he was sucking up to them excessively. I was so appalled by Akimoto's behavior, and I'm sure all the other colleagues were letting out a big sigh elsewhere. I was having difficulty gathering any evidence, and work was also getting really busy, so I was only getting more and more exhausted. Then one day...
Hirota, come here!
Yes, Mr. Akimoto? This is the worst timing. I didn't bring my voice recorder today.
Hey, what happened to setting up the happy hour?
What?
What is that pathetic response?
Mr. Akimoto, I don't really understand what you're saying.
Don't make me repeat myself twice. The happy hour, happy hour.
Are you talking about the welcome and farewell parties? For the newly hired employees and the employees that are resigning.
I shouldn't have to explain it to you, you get it.
The employees in charge of confirming the attendees and the reservation of the restaurant changes each time, doesn't it? It would be unfair to be the same person every time, so I believe it was under a rotation.
Isn't it your turn this time?
No, I was in the coordinator of last one, so going in order, I believe you're next, Mr. Akimoto.
I don't know that, I never heard anything.
What?
As the manager, it's my job to clean up after the average employees every day. It's a waste of my time to go through some magazines and call some restaurants.
That's a lie, even though you always leave before any of us.
It's the standard to make a reservation for a party like this 2 or 3 weeks in advance, isn't it?
Yes.
It's already 5 days, do you understand?
Even if you tell me that previously, Mr. Akimoto, you said to leave it to me, so,
Are you trying to put in the responsibility on your own boss, you bastard? Just because you studied abroad, have you forgotten your Japanese manners?
After finishing my lunch break, I was focused on my work in the afternoon. A few hours went by, and I thought that I would be able to leave work on time soon. However, I was called out by Mr. Akimoto, and suddenly showered with his verbal aggression. Almost all the employees were still there at this time, and pretty much everyone was staring right at me and Akimoto. More than being yelled at, I was just embarrassed by the stares of everyone around us.
Hirota, you're always like this, barking back at me without being useful whatsoever.
Please, wait a minute, I'm always working hard to take my job seriously.
Huh? I don't know about that.
Sales, admins, and translations, I believe I'm contributing to Rookie Enterprises in many ways. I've also dealt with multiple claims from customers and turned them around successfully.
Well, compared to me, who joined this company before you and had already built up a reputation, that's nothing. And it just sounds like an elementary school kid's excuses.
This guy, ever since he became the manager, he hasn't even done anything.
Even though it's been 2-3 years since you graduated from your master's in England, who is the guy that's still just a regular employee and causing baggage to the team? Ugh. Listen, at Rookie Enterprises, seniority wins. You're just a kid who's only lived 20-something years. Don't speak up like you know anything at all.
Mr. Akimoto,
you may have your eyes on my position and you're trying to gain points now, but...
If there's an opportunity for a promotion, I would be very happy about that, but I'm simply doing what needs to be done.
I was expecting a rebuttal, but you're just gonna act like you're fine?
I will let the CEO be the judge of my work ethic and those results, okay?
I'll be sure to tell him at the next employee review how useless you are then.
This is impossible. There's no use talking to him.
If you feel sorry at all, then you better make all that reservation and stuff after your working hours, and not just some cheap bar either, a high-end restaurant, do you understand?
After throwing around sentence after sentence of what could be considered verbal abuse, this day felt like the absolute worst time I've had since entering this company. My colleagues tried to cheer me up, saying that was a disaster and you don't gotta worry about it, as they lightly patted me on the back, but it seems like nobody was even thinking about standing up to Akimoto. That's because going against Akimoto meant that they would become his targeted enemy. This reaffirmed my notion that everyone was pretty terrified of their boss. 2 days later,
It's been a long time, Masayomi. You been good?
Mr. Masayomi, yeah, I'm as good as ever all the time.
You and I have the exact same name after all. It almost feels like having a conversation with myself.
Our names are even spelled the same.
Anyways, I'm glad to hear you're not sick or injured. That's good news.
How rare to get a phone call from you, Mr. Masayomi.
I've got a small favor to ask you. My daughter won a prize at the ballet competition.
Oh, congratulations. Is little Minako going to continue on to be a ballerina?
Yeah, apparently she wants to go to ballet school at the Vienna National Opera House in the future.
That's super famous school, huh? I'm sure Minako will easily get in.
We have a lot to consider for her future moving forward, but this time as a celebration for winning a prize at the competition, we're planning on going on vacation to your hometown.
That's great. When are you coming this way?
Friday of this weekend.
What? That's pretty sudden.
In the beginning, we were planning on going to Hokkaido, but due to my daughter's wishes, we changed our plans. We're gonna spend the first day as a family, but would you want to meet up with us the following day or the day after that?
Absolutely, I would love to.
I haven't seen you since Grandpa Kazuomi's funeral 5 years ago now.
He did live up to 105 years old. What a legend.
We can talk about all kinds of things, that included in 3 days.
3 days, Friday of this weekend. That means the day of my company's happy hour, huh? Oh, that reminds me. Mr. Masayomi, if you're gonna have dinner with your family, there's a really great place I would recommend.
Oh yeah?
It's a high-end restaurant that's even featured in magazines. This guy was Mr. Masayomi. He's my relative, and a man who was the same name of me letter for letter. He's my uncle with a scary face that supposedly has his hands around a certain industry. He's a single father that raised his daughter Minako in the place of his late wife, and he's a reliable father in order to make his daughter's dreams come true. It looks like he's supporting her in every way he can. I felt like I was able to forget Akimao's nagging from earlier, even if just for a brief moment. Even though we were distant relatives, Mr. Masayomi was a very kind person to me, and when I was younger, he came to play with me often. Time to find a restaurant that will take our reservation, even 3 days in advance. I flipped through the pages of a gourmet magazine and spoke to the restaurant manager on the phone, and eventually got the okay. I decided to focus my energy on my own work until the happy hour.
Hirota, how long are you gonna be wandering around?
Mr. Akimaru?
Looks like you're not so bad if you put in some effort, huh? The high-end restaurant Miyu, where they say you can eat the most delicious Japanese food in all Japan. I couldn't have guessed that you would get a reservation there.
What's Miyu?
The tasting menu costs $450 per person, doesn't it? Well, Sir Masayomi Hirota, you sure do get it. I guess I can give you $1 worth of gratitude.
Mr. Akimaru, where are you right now?
Ah, you're such a dull little kid. I said I'm at the restaurant Miyu.
You're joking, right?
Don't worry, I already ate your food and all the other subordinates' dishes too.
Are you serious?
That's right, cock-a-doodle-doo. It's your fault for being so late.
I canceled the reservation there, though. We already are at the other restaurant that we reserved.
What?
I announced it in yesterday's morning meeting as well as in an email, didn't I? The happy hour is at the Yakitori restaurant, Hakase Kizoku. It's an independently owned pub that's famous for their phrase of being cheap and delicious.
Huh?
I even announced it this morning just in case.
Hey, cut it out with the nonsense. When I gave your name to the master chef, I was taken into a really nice room, you know that?
Oh, that wasn't for me, I'm afraid.
Not for you? Are you saying that there's another man named Masayomi Hirota?
Yeah, I gave my reservation at the restaurant Miyu to a man with the same name as me.
Wait, what did you say?
Not only that, but he's my relative.
Wait a minute. On the internal mail, I know that it was said the venue tonight was for the restaurant Miyu.
Like I said, I announced in the morning meeting and by email that the reservation had been changed.
I never had that. I never heard anything about that.
Mr. Akimaru, even though you open up your computer, you don't even look at your inbox. And you always get to work barely in time for the morning meetings, so you don't listen to a word that anyone else says.
How dare you make fun of someone above you? Are you asking for a salary decrease, huh?
Instead of me, I think you should be more worried about the real customer of the reservation, otherwise you might get into a very sticky situation. When I said that, Akimaru quickly quieted down. Even though I spoke to him a few times, he didn't respond. However, the phone line was still on. But then I heard the voice of someone speaking.
Daddy? Some old man we don't know is eating our food?
Yeah, that seems to be the case, Minako.
But I was so excited for the Wagyu steak.
You don't need to worry, I'm gonna have a word with this man.
Really?
Can you wait for Daddy over there?
Yeah!
And can you wait outside the front door with Minako, please?
Yes, sir, boss. Right this way, princess.
It looks like the dishes have been laid out on the table, have been eaten and trashed. Was this your doing?
Who the hell are you?
Me? I'm the president and representative director of MoniRobo Corporations, Masayomi Hirota.
MoniRobo? Apparently food and beverages, furniture, supermarkets. You mean that the major company that's progressed in all industries, Rookie Enterprises, is also embedded in that company?
I see, so you are also an employee at Rookie Enterprises. That reminds me, I think one of my distant relatives works there too.
No way, this is what Hirota was talking about, huh?
Yeah, that's right. Masayomi Hirota. Our names are spelled the same letter for letter.
Thank you for your business with us.
I don't need you to change your tune now. I don't want to talk about work right now. I came to the restaurant Miyu because we wanted to celebrate my daughter's prize at the ballet competition.
Is that so? Well, isn't that just so wonderful?
Masayomi was the one who told me that this place was Miyu. So why is someone completely unrelated eating our food?
This isn't what it looks like. I was just told by Hirota that this is where the company happy hour would be.
He's not the type of person to lie. I'll bet you just took it and ran with it yourself.
What did you say?
Apparently the master chef has some fault for not confirming the guest's identity. However, that doesn't change the fact that you've stolen my time with my daughter, does it?
I didn't hear the story until later, but apparently Akimaru was completely shaken by Mr. Masayomi's intimidation, and he melted into the ground of the restaurant in fear. Just as I expected, that guy was only able to act tough in front of the people with a less powerful standing than him. MoniRobo Corporation was in fact a real company, and it was true that they were partnered with all kinds of businesses. And there was one more side to Mr. Masayomi. In the shadows, that is, on the side of things, as the third-generation boss of his family business, he has more subordinates than anyone can count, and is a father who loves his daughter more than anything.
Please forgive me, I'm sorry!
My daughter was still in the first grade, and she was really looking forward to this day. And even then, you have completely messed up our time as a family.
Oh no! Behind you there are multiple skin-headed subordinates standing there!
I'm not related to them by blood, but I've welcomed them in as members of the Hirota family. They're also reliable subordinates that have supported my company, and they're also my family. Well then, what shall we do with you?
Boss!
You can call me sir. I'm a CEO here.
Pardon me, sir. We'll take this guy and boil him or grill him as we see fit. Please tell us and we'll get it done.
Boil or grit? I don't know which one to choose. As if we won't take it that far with you, because the representative director of MoniRobo Corporations is a very kind and forgiving heart.
Who says that themselves? This is already crazy!
At the very least, I don't think you'll be able to go back to Rookie Enterprises.
A few seconds after I heard Akimaru scream, I finally heard back on the line.
Hey, Hirota! You never told me there was someone this major with your relatives! He's the president and representative of the director of MoniRobo Corporation with the exact same name, are you kidding me?!
That's very rude. Mr. Masayomi is generally a very mild-mannered person.
Are you stupid? He's a real-life monster!
Well, you are correct to a certain degree.
I'll never ask you for anything ever again! Say something to make the CEO forgive me, I'm begging you!
I will refuse. You've already done so much for me, Akimaru.
I've done a lot for you?
Forcing your work onto me, among other things. There's more we can count on, isn't there?
That was my bad. I'm truly sorry.
I was finally able to gather enough evidence, so I'll be turning it all in at the beginning of the week.
Please wait. Don't get ahead of yourself, Hirota. If we talk this out, we can understand each other. Isn't that right?
I don't sense any sincerity from you. All the best, Mr. Akimaru.
Anyone help me!
Hey, get this guy out of here.
Yes, sir!
Daddy, I'm hungry.
But
I'm so sorry to keep you waiting. Minako, let's eat dinner together with everyone now.
Yay!
You all, hurry up and sit down too. What? Are you sure? Of course, we are family after all. We're very grateful to hear that, sir.
Daddy, I'm going to work harder so that I can get better at ballet, okay?
Yeah, your daddy will always be rooting for you, Minako.
That was a very long phone call. Is everything okay?
There was nothing to worry about. Mr. Akimaru says he won't be attending today.
All he had to do was check the internal email, and none of this would have happened.
He also never paid attention in that daily morning meeting, so I knew it was only a matter of time before he got caught in some trouble.
Wait a minute. Did you foresee that happening? And is that why you changed the location to Hakase Kizoku?
I didn't think it would go that far, but I guess as a result, you might be right.
I'm sure Mr. Akimaru will calm down after this. Let's all have a toast.
Alright, well, here's to everyone in the sales and planning departments. All together now, cheers!
Cheers!
The master chef of the restaurant Miyu said that he would prepare the meal at no cost, but of course Mr. Masayomi declined. I'm sure it was complicated as we have the exact same name, so please don't worry about it. We would just like to enjoy our meal as a family, he said, and then he said he paid full price for everyone's meals. For the next week, Akimaru stopped coming back to work. I thought it was a no-call, no-show, but it turns out he suddenly resigned due to personal reasons. On top of that, it was discovered that he had gone to the restaurant Miyu and dined there himself with his mistress. That mistress was the daughter of the CEO of Rookie Enterprises and had a fiancé already, so he was forced to pay a very high settlement fee. Currently, he was basically forcefully transferred to a subsidiary of MoniRobo Corporations, and Mr. Masayomi said that he's being whipped by his senior colleagues as a hellish work environment every day. Because he has the settlement fee to pay, even if he wanted to quit, he can't, and he's heard crying every day at work. On the other hand, phew, okay, we are finally all moved in.
I'm sorry, I have so much stuff. It's because I have a lot of figurines that I collect as a hobby.
It's fine, I want you to continue enjoying your hobbies from now on too.
I'm so lucky you're such an understanding boyfriend.
That reminds me, I got a present from Minako the other day. She drew a cute little portrait for me.
That's so cute. She has the talents not only of a ballerina, but also as an artist. Next time, I would love to meet her too.
Minako loves people and is so friendly. I'm sure you guys would get along well.
I'm looking forward to when that happens.
Since this is our first day of living together, why don't we go and eat somewhere nice tonight?
Yeah, we should eat.
After that, Rudy and I moved in together. As the successor to Akimaru, I was promoted to manager in my late 20s, and my motivation increased in an instant. I'm planning on proposing to my girlfriend soon, and I'm going to keep on looking for rings to buy her on my next day off. I don't know if I'll be able to say that in a cool way like in the romantic movies or dramas, but that doesn't change my feelings of wanting to make her happy. I'm gonna keep on working hard and treat any bullies as teachers in my life so I can become a proud adult like Mr. Masayomi, who I did the wrong voice for.